This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC. On News Talk 95.3, 101.9 FM, and 1340 AM, your MNC nation stations.
Good morning. Welcome to Friday. It's July the 26th, 2024. I'm John Zimney in the MNC News Center. The news continues now with our top local stories. A South Bend man's facing more than 11 years in prison for stealing from the housing authority of South Bend.
According to the Department of Justice, Albert Smith used his position with the housing authority to write checks to contractors for work that never actually happened. Between 2015 and 2019, he and others would then take the money once the checks were cashed. After prison, Smith will face another 2 years of supervised release, and he must pay more than $3 million in restitution. 5 of his coworkers have also been convicted and sentenced on fraud-related charges. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
More than $1,500 worth of barber hand tools and equipment were stolen from a Goshen barber shop on Tuesday morning.
They also took cash and some beloved collection items kept in Braley's barber den. However, fingerprints were gathered and the suspect was caught on camera. And the Goshen police were able to find him wearing one of the stolen items, a Garth Brooks tour hat. WSBT says the community has been working to help the owner cover some of the costs of replacing the stolen equipment, fixing the door, and investing in security measures to prevent this from happening again. They say a GoFundMe has already surpassed halfway to the goal. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
Asleep at the wheel. That's what LaPorte County Sheriff's investigators say happened to a 68-year-old Middlebury man who crashed into a tree. That collision happened just after 5 o'clock Thursday morning at County Road 43 and Cottage Grove Road. The man was taken to the hospital for treatment of a rib injury and cuts to his elbow. From Michiana's election headquarters, Vice President Harris wasn't the only candidate on the presidential ticket in Indiana on Wednesday.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, who is former President Trump's running mate, held a closed-door fundraiser in Fort Wayne. It was an event where Vance's campaign says they raised roughly $1 million.
This is very significant. It basically substantiates that Allen County is the hotbed of Republican excitement in the state of Indiana.
Allen County GOP Chairman Steve Shine, tickets for the event range between $1,000 to $50,000. Kirk Darling, Network Indiana.
New this morning on MNC, an independent investigation into the pro-Palestinian protest at Indiana University has now been released.
The investigation was conducted by Cooper LLP, and their team found decades of inconsistent protest policies at IU, including the Dunn Meadow area, which is where the arrests of students and teachers took place in April. Cooper recommends that IU establish new, clear policies and communicate expectations effectively. They also recommend better funding for the IU police. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
People who drive an electric car know long trips are hard without public charging stations. And to fix that, INDOT has begun the Charging the Crossroads program. They say it addresses charging deserts where drivers can't find a place to plug in. The program has already chosen 39 sites in Indiana for new charging stations. And a new study has revealed the most dangerous job sectors in the state of Indiana.
Agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting jobs top the list with a fatality rate of 37.5 for every 100,000 workers in the state. The occupation has been deemed the most dangerous. Transportation and utilities is second on the list with a reported 14.7 fatal injuries per 100,000 workers. And construction occupations have the fatality rate of 11.6 per 100,000 workers. Data coming from the BLS fatal injury rates by state of incident and industry. Mike Wilson, MNC News.
Michigan Congressman Tim Walberg released the following statement after the bipartisan passage of the legislation that condemns border czar Kamala Harris.
The House just passed a resolution condemning the border czar, Kamala Harris, for her failure to secure the border. Within the last week, we've suddenly seen mainstream media outlets now retracting their own reporting from 2021 and claiming she was not actually the border czar. Despite this attempt to rewrite history, the resolution condemning her role as border czar passed with bipartisan support.
The White House handed out talking points to Democratic lawmakers on how to talk about Harris's border duties. Those talking points state that it was Republicans who labeled her as the border czar. The White House says she was simply tasked with addressing the root causes of mass migration from Central and South America. That's a quote from the White House there. And there are new concerns about the post office this morning.
State election directors nationwide are speaking out on fears the U.S. postal system will not be able to process the expected surplus of mail-in ballots for November's election. Stephen Carter, manager of election and government programs for the Postal Service, spoke at a meeting in Minneapolis and said the inspector general will publish an election mail report next week. The state election directors are worried that too many ballots will not be delivered in time for November's election.
And that's Terry D. reporting. LaPorte County Sheriff's deputies were called to a convenience store to check out a suspicious package
sent Thursday to the Family Express located on Johnson Road, and at the scene say the package was an unlabeled styrofoam package on the ground near the storefront and located underneath a U.S. Postal Service mailbox. Deputies secured the immediate area, evacuated the store, and cleared the parking lot. Porter County Sheriff's Office bomb squad team members were called in to help and x-rayed the package. It turns out it contained a porcelain dollhouse. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
So now police are looking for the owner of the dollhouse. If you know anything about it, call the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. Sample Street had to be shut down as Southbound fire crews fought a garage fire. This happened around 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning in the 1700 block of Sample. Heavy smoke and flames were seen from the roof of the structure. Crews had to close the street to traffic because of a hose being placed in the street while they doused the flames. The fire was brought under control. Luckily, no injuries reported. So far, no word about the cause. New this morning on MNC, Michigan City is getting $4.6 million in grants to build essential infrastructure for future housing projects.
The money comes from the Indiana Finance Authority and will be used to install new sewer systems on undeveloped land. Michigan City's mayor says the entire amount will be used to build sewer lines to enable future developments to start quickly, which she says is needed. What with the GM battery plant and Amazon data center coming to nearby New Carlisle, since many of those workers are going to need homes. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Turning to the health news file this morning, there's an outbreak amongst animals in Tippecanoe County.
The Indiana DNR reported multiple cases of tularemia in rabbits around Tippecanoe County on Thursday. Tularemia typically only appears in rabbits and rodents, but can spread to humans through exposure to contaminated water and tick bites. Michelle Benavides Westrich, Fish and Wildlife Health Supervisor for the Indiana DNR, describes how symptoms manifest in humans.
Typically, fever, flu-like symptoms are what you would look out for first.
While cases of tularemia in humans can be serious, it is treatable with antibiotics. Sam Fritz, Network Indiana.
The month of July may be wrapping up next week, but the Cass County Fair is just getting started.
The fair kicks off Sunday at 8 a.m. with rides, live entertainment, food, games, and more for the whole family. Sunday will be free admission all day, and free admission will be offered to veterans, children, healthcare providers, seniors, and law enforcement on designated days throughout the week. Regular admission is $7, and season passes can be purchased at the fair office for just $25. We've posted the full schedule of events at 953mnc.com. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
Also on your to-do list, you might want to check out Unity Gardens and South Bend's American Culinary Federation, which are hosting the annual Westside Barbecue and Craft Festival on Prast Boulevard. It's happening from 11 until 4 on Sunday. There'll be local craft and food vendors, tasting tours, live music, kids' activities, including a bounce house, face painting, and games. Admission for the entire event is free, and there's also free parking at the Success Academy with a free shuttle to the garden.
Plenty of sunshine expected out there today. That will make temperatures climb to right around those low 80s by the afternoon. Humidity staying low, and that's going to pave the way for another cool night overnight. Mostly clear skies and temperatures in the 50s. Saturday, though, we warm things up. We're talking highs in the mid-80s under mostly sunny skies. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Lynette Grant.
You can get the top local news delivered to your email twice each day. To get signed up, go to 953mnc.com and click where it says on demand.
Podcasts by Federated Media.